Now, the things that I say leaders should be authoring goes back to what we've already talked about. When I talk about focus and alignment, the language I use is strategy and priorities, which is focus, and then culture, which is alignment. So making sure that we're talking about culture for our team, because culture is an alignment tool for our team. When we're having lunches with peers, that's how we align with them. It's kind of one-on-one. We set culture. It allows everybody to kind of work off of the same kind of playbook. I once heard someone describe culture is what happens when you're not around. And that's what we're trying to do as leaders. We're trying to create that culture. So when we're not around and we're doing other things, we know our team is going to operate in a very uniform way. So making sure that we're spending time doing that. So that's another element that I would challenge leaders who are listening today. We've kind of talked about some best practices. If we go back a little bit, I said, gosh, really good on Monday morning to talk about the focus or priorities for the week. Really, really good. Talk about on Friday lunches, like have lunches with other leaders. So we've already talked about Monday and Friday. Okay. If you're taking notes, somewhere Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, it would be really, really smart to have a culture moment. Maybe you open up one of your team meetings this way, or you share an element around culture that's really important. You want to reinforce the culture. And the number one way we reinforce culture is we tell stories. So we make sure that we're getting those stories. If you remember the interview I had with Frank Blake, one of the realizations he had when he took over from Bob Nardelli was that culture had been really damaged. So he made a point to go out and find stories of associates across Home Depot that were doing great things. And then once a week, he would share one of those stories. He'd say, Manuel in the store in San Antonio did a great job this week helping a customer that had an issue, and he kind of tells that story. So telling those stories is another really important thing for us to do. Somewhere in that Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday timeline, or perhaps maybe it's Monday when we talk about focus. We have a moment there. But it's just a good thing for leaders to be thinking about. Am I talking about and reinforcing the culture I want for my team? Because after all, if you're leading a team, your job is not to win an MVP. Your job is to build a world championship. And if you're the head coach or that orchestra conductor, part of that is setting a winning culture.